Okay, so up to this point, all of all of the coding has been like in just this IDE. We haven't referenced anything outside. The only thing that we have taken input from is the user. So what we're going to work on is something called file IO, file input output, where we're going to interact with an outside file for code. So in this folder, I have scrap files. So this is my scrap project. And then in here, we have a couple scrap files. So I've opened up sample2.txt, which just has some like Latin filler text. So we can actually read in this text into the scrap project. So in order to do that, you need to create a file object. So we can name our file. Okay. And we're going to just call open. And then we put the file in here, but we need to place the path for it. So right now, scrap is in here. So I would want to go into scrap files / I would want to go into scrap, oh, whoops, I do need quotes, scrap files / sample2.txt. So this is to get down in. If I needed to go up a level, I would do ... up. So if I needed to get from scrap up into Java or into web, I would have to do ... /. But since I'm just going down, I'm going scrap files into sample2. So now that I have this, let's just print the file and see what happens. So this is just a file object. So it's been read into the program, stored in the variable file with this information. If I want to read, if I want to see what's actually in it, there's a couple things that I can do. So the first is we can do file.read. So if I store file.read in text and print out what text is, we get our whole text stored in this object. Now, this might not be super helpful in and of itself, so we can do a couple different things. We can, instead of doing file.read, we can do lines. We can read each line. And now we have, oh, whoops, I got to print lines. Now we have a list of each line. So I can loop through for each line in lines and print a line. And that's another way to get it. One more thing that exists is you might not want everything. So you might just do read line. So one line is equal to file.read line. If I print line, now I should just get one. Now, when you do reading, okay, it remembers where it left off. So if I do file.read now, let me just mark what this is, print. This is the line. This is the text. Just print. Okay, so we get this, I don't know how to pronounce this, but we get this line that starts with A for the line. And then for the text, we're skipping right to lorem ipsum. So there we go. So it remembers where it took off. So if you wanted to like restart, you would have to close and reopen the object. So if in between here, I put file.close, no arguments, and then redid file equals open. Now we got the full text back in. Now, if I want to write to this file, oh wait. So if I want to write for this file, first of all, I forgot a key thing up here. This is you're supposed to mark this for reading, so it knows that it's doing this for reading. But if I want to write into this file, I'm going to take file and close it. All right. I'm going to reopen it though. Oh wait, let me delete up here just so we don't get too confused. Let's just open this. Instead of reading, we're going to open it for appending. So now I can add to this text. So at the bottom, I can do file.write. This works the same as print, except there's no default line break. So I can put hello world and file.write hello world. Okay. So I can run this. Now, if I go to my sample 2, I can see hello world here, but see it didn't do multiple lines like a print statement. So if I want to do line breaks, I need to manually put them in. So now this next one got hello world and then hello world. Let's delete this. If I want to write to a new file, instead of doing this, I got to name this something else, because when you call it W for writing, it's going to overwrite whatever file's there. So I call it something else, sample out.txt, and now I can just write to this. And if you'll see sample out appear, and then your text appears there. So example of just how you would manipulate stuff like this. We're going to open this file for reading. Okay, and we're going to loop through each word. So we're going to take a text is going to be equal to file.read. Okay, so let's just see where we are. Print text. Oh wait, we want to open this one, not the output. Perfect. Okay. Now what we want to do is go down each level. So we're going to take text and split it into words. Okay. So we're going to go words. It's equal to text.split. And we're just going to take every space and split it up. So each word is by itself. Oh, I forgot to print. So now when I print words, we get a big list of words here. Okay. So now, if we want to edit some stuff, we're going to have to loop through this word thing. So we're going to go through each word in the words. Print word. And you see, now everything is split up by itself. I can go even one more down now. I can go for each letter in the word and print that letter. See? So this allows you to read this in and then intricately edit each part. So let's get rid of these prints for now. Print words. We're going to loop through. We're going to rebuild this, but we're going to delete all punctuation and change all the vowels into a character. So we're going to go string. Oh, whoops, that's wrong. Yeah, so up top, we're just going to import the string. So this is going to pull from a package of string code that has already been created. So what we can do is each word, we're going to, before going into each letter, we're going to take each word, all right, and we're going to do dot strip to get rid of extra spaces on the end. And then we're going to strip all the punctuation from the side. So we're going to do strip string dot punctuation. let me show you this step by step actually. So when I print each word before and print each word after. So right now, when I run this, whoops. Right now when I run this, you can see down here the difference. If there's no line breaks here, and there's no extra space on any of the words. So after we do that, now I can strip the punctuation. And to get punctuation, I call string and just pull any punctuation. So now when I run this, see, we got rid of a comma there. We got rid of a semicolon there, and so forth. Okay, now we're gonna need some vowels. So we're gonna store values in a defined constant or a symbolic constant. We're just gonna get all of them. A, B, no, B is not one. A, E, I, whoops. Okay, A, E, I, O, U, and then in lowercase 2, I, O, U. So now we're gonna run a little if statement. We're just gonna go if, or we're gonna go for each letter in the word. If the letter is in vowels, we're gonna print a little star. Otherwise, we're gonna print whatever the letter is, okay? So we're gonna get a big strip of letters now, and we see each time there's a vowel, it's getting replaced with a star. So if we wanna combine this into words, we're gonna need to change our end arguments. So the default end doesn't, end is another argument in print that's optional. You don't have to change it. So you don't need to write an end argument unless you want it to not be a line break. This is the default. The default is, this is written as end equals line break, but you can change this now. So we can just make it end with nothing, end with nothing, all right? And then after each word, so for wording words, we just print a line break right there. So now we get each word by itself. Get each word by itself replaced by stars. So if I'm just trying to think now what I'd want to do next. So I can now rewrite this into sample2 output, but just a quick thing. So we did all this code to get into for word in words. So if you want to get fancy, you can actually combine this all into one. So words is equal to text.split, which you get from file.read, which you get from file, which you get from open. So you can go in open, scrap files, sample2, read. The next part, we're gonna dot read this in. Then the next part is we're gonna dot split this. What helps with this is it's automatically going to close the object at the end because it's only open inside this under this scope. So we're going to make an out file is going to be equal to open scrap files sample2 for writing. And instead of printing, we're going to do out file dot write. we don't need this end argument anymore because there is no end argument for writing. File.write the letter. We're gonna just write a space here in between each word. So now this should make sample2 text. It's gonna take each word and get rid of its vowels. Okay, so here we go. There's no console because everything should be in here, and it didn't do anything there. Cool. Let's grab file sample2. Oh crap, because this. So this was a big mistake because I didn't change the name of this here. So it overwrote everything that was in sample2. So there's nothing exists there anymore. I can easily use, so I'd have to go recopy what sample2 was, or I can undo, reload from disk. Okay, cool. So I can undo to get it all back, or I could use a different sample text, but let's just use this for now. Now, when I run this, no output, but over here, we get each word replaced by asterisks. So hope this gives you a good intro for working with File.io on your Python projects.